If you don't use AI, you need to raise your prices. If you don't use AI, you deserve to raise your prices. Have you heard any copywriters or content writers or influencers say things like this? Because I have, and I've seen a little bit of it recently. And it's interesting because AI writing has been around for a long time, but now it's become so ubiquitous and so good with the introduction and the popularity of ChatGPT that everyone is talking about it, and most people are using it. And some of the people that seem to talk about it the most are the people who don't use it and want you to know that that makes them better than you. And I find this really funny because it demonstrates a fundamental lack of understanding of where the value of a copywriter or content writer comes from. So I just want to say very clearly that using or not using AI writing does not directly affect the value that you can provide as a content writer or as a copywriter. Now, there are plenty of professional writers who use AI writing tools to mass generate as much content or copy as they can and sell it at low rates because they think that that's the best way for them to make money. And maybe it is, maybe based on their skill set and the amount of time that they have and the tools that they're using, maybe that's what makes sense for them. But that is not what the best writers who are using AI do. And I don't think that's even what most writers who are using AI do. What most writers who use AI do is use it to help them to write better and write faster. And the first writing software that used AI that became really popular, to my knowledge, wasn't actually an AI writer. It was Grammarly, which you've probably heard of. It's a really good grammar checker and plagiarism checker. And it absolutely helps people write better, write faster, and more specifically, edit better and edit faster. But it also helps you with rewriting as you go. And so the AI writing tools are just basically applying that same logic to the actual writing process. It makes it much easier to come up with ideas, to expand upon those ideas, and to draft and even edit and rewrite your content. So in other words, using or not using AI writing does not directly affect the value that you can offer, because there are three factors that influence how valuable a writer can be to a client. And by focusing on growing in these areas, you can become more valuable to your current clients and more valuable to potential clients and make it easy for you to charge more than you're currently charging. So the three ways that you can do this are to write better, to deliver faster, and to get better results. Now, the third one is the hardest, to get better results. So if we're talking about copywriting, that means getting more clicks, more likes, more shares, more conversions, more sales, more newsletter signups. And that's difficult because while there are lots of best practices that you can follow to write great conversion copy, in most cases, you're going to need to spend some time getting to know a brand specific audience before you're going to be able to make really significant long-term improvements just by writing better copy. Also, you need to have access to the data that shows you whether you're improving or not, which writers don't always have. But the first two are comparatively easy. To write better, all that you need to do is learn how to write better. You can do that by taking a class. You can do that by practicing. You can do that by having other people read and critique your work, or you can do all three of those things. There's other ways to do it. There's lots of ways to get better as a writer, and a lot of people underestimate how valuable that is. Because even though at the end of the day, what most clients are going to care about is the results that you get and how fast you deliver them, most clients will also always choose someone whose writing they prefer, that they really like reading, if the results and speed that you offer are comparatively similar to another person. And AI makes it a lot easier to write better. Now, I am a strong believer that you do most of your best writing when you're editing. The initial draft is great for getting ideas out, and sometimes you come up with really cool stuff, but usually your best writing is going to come from the editing process. And with AI, you can get that initial draft out of the way very, very fast. And that way you can skip straight to the editing stage and start doing your best work without needing to first type 500 or 1,000 or 2,000 words. So AI definitely helps you write better if you use it properly, and it definitely helps you deliver faster. When I started using Jasper AI to write my blog posts, and later I started using Phrase as well, I went from being able to publish 2 or 3 articles a month to consistently publishing 8 articles a month on my own blog, and I was doing a bunch of client writing on top of that. So AI can absolutely improve your speed without negatively impacting your quality. In fact, most of the successful professional writers that I know from being in communities with other people that use these tools are really, really high-level writers who went from being already successful to being even more successful because they're able to write better and write faster. And ultimately, that leads to them having more experience, more data, and eventually being able to get better results. I'm not saying that you need to use AI writing. I have just as much respect for people who don't use AI writing tools as people who do use them. But the difference is I'm not looking down on them. Whereas a lot of people who reject the idea that AI writing can actually be really good like to sort of look down on people who use AI like, oh, you're leaning on that. It's a crutch. It's not really your writing, whatever they're going to say. But in actual fact, it is your writing. It's not a crutch. It's just a new tool, a new software. And if we refuse to embrace new software and new innovations, then we would still be carving out stone tablets, and those are really difficult to send via email. Anyways, that was just some quick thoughts on the state of AI writing. You can find the software that I mentioned in this video linked in the description below. Those are my affiliate links. It'd be really great if you use them if you want to try these AI writers out. And remember to follow me on this platform so that you can get access to all my newest content.